I was at a party the other day, and I was talking to a newcomer to the area, and he was going to Philadelphia the next day. I said, "Oh, you ought to hop on one of those open-air buses. Saves you a lot of time and energy. You get a good lay of the land. Then if you want to do something else, you'll know where everything is." He scoffed at that. No, he was way too cool for school to be hopping on a tourist bus. But that's what I did last year when one of my buddies visited me from the West Coast. This guy's been around the world about 27 times, and I'm not even exaggerating. And so we went to the little tourist attraction downtown where they keep the Liberty Bell and the Declaration of Independence. And we went into one place where they had all these statues of a lot of the people who signed the Declaration of Independence. So we're sitting there looking at them one after another, and we saw a classroom of little chocolate fellas and little chocolate ladies with a little chocolate teacher taking them around to each of the statues. So I kind of just stayed my distance about 10 feet away from them and just kept my ear on what they were up to. And every time they stopped at a statue, they stayed there for about 5-10 minutes, only to discuss what an awful, lousy, terrible person this guy was and how he had something to do with the slave trade. He had something to do with oppressing black people, whether it was owning slaves or whether it was not being anti-slavery enough. So then we hopped on one of those open-air buses. And, there weren't that many people on it, but almost everybody wanted to see one thing. I'll tell you what that is in a minute. But what we did, and the lovely lady, the chocolate lady, who was our tour guide, I was sitting about 5 feet from her on the upper deck, the open air. And so we started going around, and instead of giving us like a tour of colonial Philadelphia, she basically spent about half of her narration telling us about all the black things in Philly. There's the first black church. There's the black lady who helped Betsy Ross with the flag. There's where the black people came in slavery. There's the first, this and that. And, George Washington, all those other guys, well, they kind of got short shrift. Well, there was really only one place most people on the tour wanted to go. That was the Rocky statue at the Philadelphia Art Museum, I think they call it. You remember when Rocky ran up the stairs of that? Da-da-da, da-da-da. Well, they used to have the statue right out front, but that was way too lowbrow for the patrons of the museum, so they shuffled it off to the side where it is still an extremely popular attraction. Now, here's one thing we did not see at the attraction. We have a couple of viewers, listeners and readers who live right close to the Rocky statue, and just a block or two away. They're always telling me about the argy-bargy going on up there, all the fellas taking care of their criminal enterprises up there. So this is what happens 1 block away from the Rocky statue in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's amazing how cool, calm, and collected that guy is. I mean, he's got his gun. These guys are like, got his gun down, and he's not worried about anybody fighting back or anything like that. So finally, they collect their goodies and they go on their way. That's a Philadelphia thing, and in Philadelphia, that's a black thing. And the fellas in Philadelphia aren't overly worried, especially lately, now that they have a new mayor, a new district attorney, new chief of police, who are all on the same page that crime is the new black entitlement. We are not going to arrest our way out of this mess. And we don't need any more black men in prison. So why are we arresting black people when everybody knows, just like the lady on the bus knew, the narrator, and just like the teacher in the tourist attraction knew, that black people are the victims of white racism.
Please, sir, I want some more.
What?
Please, sir, I want some more.
And how could you not understand that when they go around, pointing guns at people and stealing their stuff? That's what the chief of police in Dallas just said yesterday, too, by the way. We put that video out on Twitter, and I've already put that out on Minds.com and YouTube as well. Yeah, she said that the only reason people commit crimes is when they get out of jail, they don't have education, they don't have anywhere to go. So they are, quote unquote, forced to commit violent crimes. Good to know. And here all this time I thought they were doing it just because the black kids were angry.